The United States Air Force has a new strategic long-range stealth bomber, and it's built in Palmdale. The military says its destructive power is unmatched.
This isn't one secret bomber. It's nearly 40 Raiders being built in silence, a fleet hidden in plain sight. And there's more to this video than one headline. What you're about to see is a story of secret production lines, breakthrough technology, and a flight that could change the future of air power forever. The Pentagon just pulled back the curtain on something so staggering that even America's closest allies didn't see it coming. Imagine this. You think the US Air Force is quietly testing a single futuristic bomber, only to find out dozens are already in production, tucked away in hangars. And here's the kicker. The second B-21 Raider is about to take flight, and it's unlike anything the world has ever seen. But before we dive deeper, remember, this isn't just another military aircraft. This is a machine rewriting the rules of modern warfare. And by the end of this video, you'll see why military experts around the globe are scrambling to keep up. And here's the real twist. The first signs of this secret didn't come from an Air Force press release. They came from above. Quietly, in the California desert, something strange was stirring at a place already steeped in aviation legend. A shadow at Plant 42. The first whispers came not from Washington briefings, but from the sky. Satellite imagery over Palmdale, California, showed something strange. Increased security, unusual movement, and massive tarps covering what looked like multiple aircraft shapes. This is Plant 42, the legendary birthplace of the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. But this time, the activity was different. Too many shapes. Too much movement. Aviation photographers started piecing it together. The US wasn't hiding one bomber prototype. It was building several. Then came the slip. General Thomas A. Bussière, head of Air Force Global Strike Command, casually mentioned that a second B-21 test aircraft would fly soon. That single sentence confirmed what many suspected. America wasn't crawling toward progress. It was surging. But the real shock wasn't the second aircraft. It was the sheer scale of what was being built in secret. A fleet in the making. What analysts expected to be a slow, experimental rollout of one or two test bombers turned out to be something much larger. Insider reports, satellite imagery, and leaked documents painted a clearer picture. Nearly 40 B-21 Raiders were already in various stages of construction. This wasn't a cautious prototype program, or a one-off marvel meant for display. This was a full-scale production surge, the kind of industrial push not seen since America's bomber factories roared non-stop in World War II. Imagine that. Hangars quietly filling with stealth bombers, while the world looked the other way. Meanwhile, China's H-20 stealth project still hasn't produced an operational aircraft, and Russia's PAKDA remains locked in delays and design hurdles. Yet America is already building a fleet that looks pulled from science fiction. For the first time in decades, the US has leapt so far ahead that even its rivals are struggling to imagine how they could possibly catch up. But to understand why this moment is so monumental, we need to step back in time and examine the lessons that shaped the Raider. Learning from past failures. Before the B-21, there was the B-2 Spirit, an icon of stealth, a sinister flying wing that looked decades ahead of its time. On paper, it was unstoppable. In reality, it exposed the dangers of ambition colliding with cost. Only 21 were ever built, their astronomical price tags spiraling beyond control. Maintenance was brutal, production slow, and the fleet too small to alter the balance of power. The B-2 became a cautionary tale, a technological masterpiece so rare it could never fully deliver on its promise. The B-21 had to avoid those mistakes or risk the same fate. Northrop Grumman knew this. They studied every scar left behind by the B-2 program and decided to flip the playbook. Instead of crafting a fragile showpiece, they built the Raider for scale. a stealth bomber that could be replicated in dozens, even hundreds, without collapsing under its own complexity. That shift in philosophy is why today's story feels so different. Avoiding the B-2's mistakes meant more than new blueprints. It meant reimagining the entire way aircraft are built. And that's where digital innovation changed everything. The secret weapon? Digital twin technology. Before the first real Raider ever touched a runway, its shadow had already flown countless times, not in the sky, but inside a computer. Engineers built what they called a digital twin, a complete virtual replica of the aircraft where every system, every line of software, and every bolt could be tested, stressed, and even broken without risking the actual bomber. In that virtual world, problems were identified and solved long before they could become costly disasters on the factory floor. The results were stunning. Software certification time was slashed nearly in half. Manufacturing hours dropped by a third in some areas. Processes that once demanded huge teams of craftsmen could now be handled with AI-guided robotics, augmented reality overlays, and precision automation. This wasn't just about building a bomber. It was about reinventing the very idea of production. And that shift carries a chilling implication. If America can mass-produce stealth at this scale, its rivals may already be out of time. Building it was one thing. Paying for a whole fleet was another. Cost, strategy, and scale. Here's another shocker. While the B-2 drained billions, the B-21 is designed to be affordable, at least by stealth bomber standards. At around $550 million per aircraft in 2010 dollars, it's still expensive, but manageable at scale. Compare that to the B-2's insane $2 billion per plane price tag. Yes, Northrop Grumman has reported billions in upfront losses, but insiders know what's happening. They're sacrificing profit now to dominate the future, just like tech giants did with their platforms. The payoff comes when the assembly line runs at full speed. But the real test wasn't in the factory, it was in the air. And that brings us to the milestone that proved everything. First flight, and now, the second. The first B-21 Raider finally took to the skies in late 2023, and that single flight signaled far more than a test. Since then, it's been flying almost twice a week, each sortie pushing boundaries and feeding a constant stream of data back to engineers. Every takeoff, every landing, every maneuver has been studied in real time, accelerating the program at a pace the B-2 Spirit could never achieve. And now, the second Raider stands ready. This aircraft isn't just another prototype. It's the proof that the assembly line is working. Its purpose is to show that number 2, number 3, and number 4 can match the performance of the first. And once that bridge is crossed, there's no going back. The floodgates of American air power swing wide open. But what makes the Raider truly fearsome isn't just what it proves today. It's what it's built to become tomorrow. A 50-year weapon. Unlike older aircraft locked into their original design, the Raider was built with open systems architecture. That means constant upgrades, new sensors, new weapons, new defensive suites, all plugged in without tearing the plane apart. The Raider you see in 2025 won't be the same Raider flying in 2050. It will be smarter, stealthier, deadlier. And the stealth itself? Decades ahead of the B-2. Materials tougher, maintenance easier. The B-2 was a hangar queen, needing babying before every mission. The B-21? It's built to fly daily, to be treated like a war machine, not a museum piece. A bomber built to last 50 years is impressive, but what it can deliver across the globe is even more important. That's where the true power of the Raider comes into focus. Range, payload, and mystery. Exact numbers are classified, of course, but analysts estimate the B-21 can match or exceed the B-2's globe-spanning range. That means targets anywhere on Earth without refueling. Its bays can carry nuclear warheads or precision-guided conventional bombs, plus weapons not even invented yet. But here's where it gets wild. The B-21 isn't just a bomber, it's an intelligence platform. Advanced sensors let it vacuum up electronic signals, monitor communications, and feed real-time battlefield awareness to commanders. Some missions won't involve dropping a single bomb. Instead, it'll serve as an invisible eye, guiding other forces to strike with surgical precision. That's when you realize the B-21 is more than a weapon. It's a chess piece that changes the entire game. Filling the bomber gap. For decades, America's bomber fleet has been shrinking. The B-52, ancient, first flown in 1952, still lumbering along. The B-1 Lancer, plagued with maintenance problems. The B-2, too rare to count on. The gap was real. Too few aircraft for too many missions. Military analysts warned America couldn't sustain operations in both Europe and the Pacific if war broke out. The B-21 is the answer. Some experts say 100 won't be enough. Think tanks like the Heritage Foundation argue America needs at least 200. Others push for nearly 300. Because a single Pacific conflict alone would demand relentless bomber operations across thousands of miles. And make no mistake, production lines are already being built to make that possible through one critical step. Bases and training. Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota will be the Raiders' first home. New hangars, hardened shelters, and security systems are under construction right now. After that, Whiteman in Missouri and Dyess in Texas will follow. Training crews is another massive undertaking. The B-21 is far more sophisticated than anything pilots have flown before. Luckily, the B-2's legacy provides a starting point, but new tactics and procedures are being written in real time. Because this isn't just training for a plane, it's training for a whole new way of fighting wars. Allies, adversaries, and industry shockwaves. The world is paying attention. Allies whisper about cooperation, even procurement. Adversaries scramble. China rushes its H-20 program. Russia struggles to keep PAKDA alive, but both are already behind. And here's something most people miss. The B-21 isn't just a bomber program. It's an industrial revival. Thousands of workers across 40 states, hundreds of suppliers. Billions are flowing into manufacturing techniques that will ripple into other defense projects. This is a national asset, not just a plane. Beyond industry and strategy, the Raiders' true strength lies in psychology, in making rivals hesitate before they act. That is the essence of deterrence in the modern era. Why does this matter? Because deterrence is about credibility. When enemies know you can strike anywhere, anytime with no warning, they think twice. The B-21 doesn't just carry weapons, it carries psychological weight. It tells adversaries, don't even think about it. That's why the second Raiders flight is more than a milestone. It's a message, loud and clear. A symbol of American resolve. Look at the numbers. Nearly 40 Raiders already in progress. Over $10 billion allocated just for 2026. An operational target date of 2027. This is not a dream on paper. This is happening, right now, in hangars you'll never see, guarded by layers of secrecy. And it's proof of something bigger. Proof that American decline isn't real. Proof that when challenged, America can still out-innovate, outbuild, and outscale anyone on Earth. But all the numbers, funding, and secrecy mean nothing until the Raider proves itself in the sky. That moment is here. The flight that changes everything. As the second B-21 Raider prepares for its maiden flight, one thing is clear. History is unfolding before our eyes. This isn't just another test. This is the signal that production works, that America has cracked the code to building stealth at scale. From engineers designing digital twins, to workers riveting composite skins, to pilots who will one day fly unseen over hostile skies, the Raider is the product of a nation refusing to fall behind. And when that second aircraft lifts off, it won't just be a plane in the sky. It will be a shadow over every adversary's war plan. If you've made it this far, you already know. The B-21 Raider isn't just America's next bomber. It's the future of air power, and it's already here. So if you want to stay locked in on stories like this, stories that reveal the cutting edge of military power, hit subscribe and join us as we ride into the next era of aviation history. Because the Raiders' story is only just beginning.